Hi, Jim Stime here with Aquarium Design. You probably also know me as the LA Fish Guy. I'm here working on the jellyfish tank today, and I'd like to show you how I'm going to deal with the buildup of nutrients within the system. This tank, I changed 100% of the water about 3 weeks ago. I returned a week ago and tested that water and found that my phosphate levels were at the top of the chart. On a scale of 0 to 3, they're pushing 3. Interesting enough, the nitrate level is low, and so I've tested my water at home. I have a very nice filter system that delivers purified water, and that's 0 on the nitrate and 0 on the phosphate. I've also tested the mixed salt water, and it too is 0 on nitrate, 0 on phosphate. So this tank, which does get fed daily, and maybe to a certain degree overfed, is fed with freshly hatched baby brine shrimp. It's a frozen version, so it's real convenient, but it could be real rich. And so as a result of that heavy feeding, the phosphate levels go up in the tank, and that has a negative effect on the jellyfish. And so today I'm going to show you how we're going to use the Blue Life or Blue Vet phosphate remover and try to bring down the phosphate level. So this is the filtration room, not only for the koi pond that's out front, as well as the compressors for the misters used in the summertime, but it's also where the filter system for the jellyfish tank is. It consists of a typical wet-dry trickle filter. There's probably 2 cubic feet of bioballs in there. There also happens to be a hog algae scrubber, and then the black unit down there is a submersible UV sterilizer, and then the white thing is a bag of activated carbon. It's driven by a large Milwaukee water pump. There's a refrigeration unit that's on the other side of this wall because the tank typically runs at about 65 degrees. Part of the filter system is that pleated cartridge that's in that canister filter in there. Now, it's a very effective filter system. What I'm going to do today is add a temporary micron sock into the sump, and I'm going to use the Blue Life RX phosphate remover, and I'm going to drip that inside that sock. The idea being that I'm going to cause a reaction, a chemical reaction with the phosphate drops, and it's going to what we call precipitate. It's going to cause the phosphates to kind of bind with something in there, and it'll make it to a point where it just basically falls out of solution. So follow me here as I add these items. We're going to test the water before we add the phosphate remover, just to get an idea as to where we're starting from, and then I'll show you how I'm going to apply this chemical to the system. So I've performed not only a phosphate test, but a double nitrate test, and thought I would also do a pH test. And I'll do these once again in about an hour to see where we're at. Now, if you take a look here, the pH, it may be hard for you to determine this because I got it positioned wrongly in the sun, but that's a good strong 8.2, 8.3. This is the nitrate test here. And it comes, the closest color that it comes to is that yellow, which happens to read 0. I'm actually kind of surprised, but then again, it was only a few weeks ago that I did that 100% water change. Now, here's the phosphate, and we should be down at the 0 end of it, and I always do a double test, and this has to be the C-test or C-Chem phosphate test, and you can see both of those colors are kind of equal to each other, and they seem to match the higher end of that scale. So we're somewhere up between 2.0 and 3.0, which is at the top of the range. Now, why is that level so high? Again, I've tested my water at home. I have a very thorough purification system. I use good brand salts. I've tested the water, the RO water itself. I've also tested the salt water. I'm fairly close to zero on nitrate and phosphate at home. But unfortunately, here in the jellyfish tank, that level is real high, and it didn't take long to get there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use the Blue Life Phosphate Control. And the application is one where I have acquired a 10 micron sock. That's pretty darn fine. But the point is we want to trap out that precipitate in the sock, not allow it to go back into the system. So I've got a sock ring holder that I've attached to the side of the sump. I've got a Rio brand water pump that I've got some tubing and some elbows that are pumping that water directly into the sock. And what we're going to do is take and dispense the product directly into the sock. That's where the reaction will occur. And as that reaction does occur and the precipitate begins to fall out of solution, that's also where that precipitate is going to be trapped. If we allow it to go back into the system, regardless of having driven it out, it's still technically in the system. And so by doing this, we're basically mechanically trapping those particulates, and we're going to be able to physically remove them out of the system. So this is the Blue Life, or what they call the Blue Vet RX Phosphate Control, and this is the small little bottle that's inside there. The directions suggest 6 drops per 10 gallons. Now that's at least a 100-gallon jellyfish in there, so theoretically that would be 60 drops. This being the first time I've done this in a jellyfish tank, I'm not sure what the reaction is going to occur or how the jellyfish are going to react to it. So I'm going to take a safe route, and I'm only going to go half that dosage. So I'm going to put a total of 30 drops in. But what I'm not going to do is put all 30 drops in at one time. I'm going to spread it out over a period of time. I'm also going to monitor and see what occurs within that sock as I put each drop in there. So let's go ahead and try it. Okay, so let's see how this goes. I'm shaking up the solution a little bit to make sure that it's ready to go. We're just going to put a few drops in, and then we'll wait a little bit. Put a few more drops in and wait a little bit. Kind of thick stuff. Hello, my name's Jim Stime, and I operate Aquarium Design, and I offer aquarium sales, installation, supplies, livestock, and aquarium maintenance in Thousand Oaks, Westlake Village, Agora Hills, Calabasas, and Malibu, California. I specialize in custom aquariums ranging from freshwater, saltwater fish, living coral reef, and jellyfish display systems. I've been involved professionally and at many levels within the aquarium industry since 1987, and have been in business for myself since 1999. I've worked for many people, and some for over 20 years now. My team can provide you with a unique range of aquarium systems ranging from rectangular in-wall to freestanding cylinders, bow fronts, and custom curve shapes. Additionally, we can offer a variety of aquascapes such as an artificial coral insert, coral skeleton decorations, custom-made branching rock structures, and themed environments such as this Jules Verne version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. With today's technology in energy-efficient DC water pumps and LED lighting, operating costs are much lower. We can automate many of the maintenance features such as water replenishment, water changes, lighting schedule, including moonlight lighting, and even your general daily feedings. I can even install an app on your smartphone that will allow you to monitor, to be notified, to control, and view your aquarium anywhere in the world. If you're looking for something truly unique,
Give me a call and let's discuss the possibilities of creating your aquatic dream. I'm knowledgeable, insured, and very reliable.
My name is Jim Stime, and you can reach me at 805-241-7140. I look forward to helping you achieve your aquatic dream.
Do you enjoy watching LA Fish Guys? Do you feel like a fish guy when servicing your own aquarium? Would you like to feel like part of the LA Fish Guy team? For a limited time, get your LA Fish Guys t-shirts or embroidered polo shirts today. These 100% cotton Hanes beefy tees are $20, and the embroidered black polo t-shirts are 50% cotton and 50% polyester and are only $25. Visit myfishtank.com. Look for the LA Fish Guys link and order your LA Fish Guys shirts today before they sell out.
Some sizes may be limited and may not be available.
And be sure to visit the LA Fish Guys website to see all 152 reinstated LA Fish Guys episodes, including the original 35 shows. And always keep moving forward. GHL is widely recognized for the most reliable and future-proof aquarium controllers, dosers, and aquarium LED lighting on the market. Designed and manufactured in Germany, all GHL products are built with the highest quality and standards. The GHL Profilux 4 raises the bar to a whole new level. Featuring built-in Wi-Fi, the Profilux 4 can be connected to your network wirelessly and be monitored and controlled from anywhere. With integrated ports for temperature, pH, ORP, conductivity, you can monitor virtually anything. Built-in expansion ports and optional flow sensors allow the Profilux 4 to scale to meet the needs of even the most advanced aquarium installations without the need for additional add-on modules. The new GHL Doser 2.1 takes dosing to the extreme with integrated Wi-Fi for wireless management. It includes inputs for level sensors, a temperature probe, and an output for a magnetic stirrer, making it an ideal solution for everything from dosing, automatic top-off, automated water changes, and even automated feeding. The GHL Mitras are the most powerful and flexible LEDs in their class. The 7206's built-in wireless control makes for fast and easy setup, while the GHL Light Composer allows users to easily set up their spectrum and lighting schedule. 6 individual LED clusters provide the industry's best blending of LED channels while also providing the best spread. 9 channels of control allow you to tailor your lighting scheme to meet the needs of even the most difficult to keep corals while also bringing out colors in corals and fish that would otherwise remain unseen. All GHL products can be controlled via the GHL Control Center application as well as the My GHL Cloud interface, allowing for monitoring, control, and management from anywhere via an internet connection. The unique interface eliminates the need for coding while providing advanced programming functionality unrivaled by the competition. If you're looking for the best controllers, dosers, and lighting on the market, then GHL has a product to fit your needs. For more information, visit aquariumcomputer.com.
So it's been a few minutes. It's kind of hard to see if there's any real reaction going on inside there. You see a little bit of foam, but I think that's just general organics in the system. I can't tell if I'm seeing any cloudy water or if there's any precipitate that's developing. That might also be a bit of a strong pump creating quite a strong current in there, but I guess I'd rather have too strong a current than not strong enough. So I'm going to add a few more drops and we'll wait again and see what happens. And again, we'll wait just a little while. So it's been about 15 minutes. We've got 13 drops in there now. I'll go ahead and add a few more. So we've got about 15 drops in there so far. We'll go ahead and add another 5. I don't see any real odd reactions occurring in the sock. Again, I do see a little bit of foam. I've also checked on the jellyfish, and so far there's no negative reactions there. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes that I've spread out the 30 drops. And the only change that I really do see is, you'll notice there's not as much foam in there, and I don't think that has anything to do with the phosphate remover. I think what it has to do with is the water level inside that sock has risen due to it becoming restricted, and in turn, because that water level is higher, there's no heavy aeration coming out from that discharge, which in turn would cause the foam. So I believe there is a reaction occurring inside there, and that precipitate is slowly restricting, or basically plugging up, that 10 micron sock. So my guess is that the phosphate remover is doing what it's supposed to do, and that is to cause a chemical reaction which precipitates the phosphate out of solution. And since it's occurring right inside that sock, the sock itself, being very fine, is becoming restricted, and thus the water level is filling up inside the sock. I'm now going to go and service another tank, and I'm going to come back in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We'll probably remove it, but at that time we'll test the water and see if there's been any change as a result of the application of the product. So it's been about 45 minutes. I want to now take a look at the sock that we've got running in the system, as well as do another phosphate test and see if we've brought the level down at all. So you can clearly see that the sock itself has become a little bit more restricted as a result of the water level rising up inside of it. I would say that that water level has risen at least 2 inches inside of there. So we have to assume that the sock has become plugged. We also have to assume that it's become plugged as a result of the precipitate that's been driven out of the system. Now I've done another phosphate test here. It's kind of hard to determine colors on here, and to be honest with you, I would say that there's not much of a change, if any change, but then again, I only did a half a dose. So maybe next time I do the full dose and see if that has caused any significant decrease. But in this particular case, I think simply due to the fact that I've seen the sock become restricted, I know something has happened in there. So I'm going to assume that we've removed some of it, and at those higher levels, it's just a little harder to get some momentum going. And again, if I was to use full dosage, that might help a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the sock and the holder out of the system, allow the tank to kind of recover, if there's any need to recover, for at least the next week, and I'll make another attempt at this, probably with a fuller dosage, next week when I come back to service the tank. So last week, if you recall, I only did a half dose application of the phosphate control by Blue Life. Wasn't that effective, and at the same time, when you start from a high level, it takes a lot to start getting some momentum or getting some decrease. So it's the following week now. I service this jellyfish tank every week, and this time we've done a full dosage. The dosage on the bottle says 6 drops per 10 gallons. That jellyfish tank is a 100-gallon system, so we're looking at 60 drops. This time, I set up the same application. I did clean that micron sock. I put it into the sump, and we applied 60 drops over the course of time, or over the period of time that it took me to service the tank. Let's now take a look at those results. So I've just done the test. This is the C-Chem phosphate test kit. You're basing your decision on colors, and sometimes it's a little difficult to determine which color, but we did test again this morning, and we were at the 2.5, 3.0 range. Now, I've just tested again after about an hour after finishing servicing the tank and an hour applying the phosphate control. and you can clearly see that instead of it being that blue, it's now green. As to whether that's 1.5 or 2.0, you can make that decision. But the point is that it is lower, and so apparently the phosphate control is now at a full dosage, having an effect. It's not going to bring it down to 0 right away. You don't want it to come down more than half a part per million, but we have confirmed that it has come down. This being this week's application, you can see once again that that sock is a beigey material trapped on its inside, and that the water level has risen up so that the sock obviously has become restricted. So that is where the precipitate that the phosphate remover has driven out, and we've done that chemical reaction inside the sock as opposed to inside the water or the jellyfish tank itself. So again, this is a, we'll call it a sock holder, an acrylic sock holder, a 10 micron sock. I've used a Rio pump and some tubing to pump water out of the sump directly into the sock, and that's where I did my reaction process. So at this point, probably for the next few weeks, I'm going to apply a full dosage, and my goal is to get that back down to 0. Okay, so it's a number of weeks later that I've applied the phosphate drops, and granted, it is a different brand test kit, so the reading will probably be slightly different, but I wanted to share with you what we've been able to accomplish with the phosphate drops. Now, that could be interpreted as 0.5, maybe 1.0. Certainly not the 2.0 that you saw previously. And so with the phosphate drops, we've been able to bring the phosphate level down significantly. Whether I can get it down to a 0.25 or close to 0, only if I continue to do the drops would I be able to. I kind of doubt it. The tank, as I said, is fed a little bit on the heavy side, so I'm real happy with 0.5. Even 1.0 is a significant improvement. And so that's the application of the phosphate drops, or what's actually referred to as lanthanum chloride, and achieving a chemical reaction called precipitation that has caused the phosphate molecules to bond with something else and actually fallen or precipitated out of solution, where I've been able to remove that precipitate with the micron sock.